knows how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with. That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're Oreo cookie, white in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro, I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I will slap you.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Black at the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. I have with me Dave Muscato of American Atheists. And Dave is behind the picture of an American Atheist sign in Times Square there in New York. And it says, "Who need Christ during Christmas?" Who need Christ during Christmas? Cross out Christ with an X, and it says, nobody. Nobody need Christ. I saw Dave, I believe, on Bill O'Reilly, Fox News show there, even though he was being interviewed by a different host. Bill was out, and I wanted to talk to Dave. Dave, good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. Dave, let me ask, have you always been an atheist?
No, actually, I used to be a professional worship musician before I became an atheist.
Really? And what caused the change in you? So you were a Christian at one point. What caused the change in you? Why did you change?
Learning more about Christianity, actually. At one point, I decided I wanted to take my religion more seriously. I had never read the Bible cover to cover before, so I did that. And then I read a different translation cover to cover, and then I decided if I really wanted to know what Jesus taught and what Jesus wanted for me to do and how we were supposed to act and so on, that really the best way for me to do this, just because there are so many translations, would be to learn Latin and Greek so that I could really get to the source of what he was really saying in the way it was originally written. And what I found out, I started working with a tutor, a classics grad student for a couple of years who tutored me twice a week. And in reading this stuff, I started to realize actually pretty quickly off the bat that we don't have the original documents of these, and that the oldest documents that we do have been highly edited, that we don't know who wrote them, that we don't have the originals. They're very, very historically unreliable, and they contradict each other in many different ways. And it just was immediately apparent these are not good historical sources. And the more I looked into it, the more I realized that these are just not, the whole thing is just not accurate. So that took me from being a Christian to just believing in God, but not believing the Bible. And then from there, as I learned more about philosophy and epistemology and statistical probability and things like that, it just became more and more apparent that this wasn't true.
Amazing. When you were a Christian, the idea of believing in God, it did not work for you, right? Nothing got better for you, per se.
Well, when I was a Christian, it definitely did. I was very much, attached to it. But when I started to realize it wasn't true, then it became harder and harder for me to believe it.
Really? So there's nothing within you, within your body, within your spirit that says that there is a God?
Not now. There used to be, I thought, but now I think it was just wishful thinking, and I think that it was just me imagining it.
Wow. Why protest Christ? Your sign on Times Square there, hanging in Times Square, says that who need Christ during Christmas? And a little X crosses out Christ and says nobody. Why protest Christ? Why don't you just move on and be a little atheist and not interrupt with what other people believe?
Well, our message is really that Christmas isn't about Jesus, that anybody can celebrate it any way that they want to. And it's not that we're attacking Christians. Our target audience for this billboard is closeted atheists, people who pretend to be Christian, who go to services with their family, or they drag themselves, or they drag their children even though nobody really wants to go, who go through the motions of it but don't really believe it because they feel societal pressure or family pressure maybe from an older generation that wants them to appear religious. But we want them to know that you don't need Christ in order to have a great holiday. Many people in this country, actually 9 out of 10, I just saw a study released last night from Pew Forum, I think it was, 9 out of 10 non-Christians in this country celebrate Christmas too. You don't need Christ to do this, and actually nobody needs Christ. I mean, some people might believe that they need him, but he's a fictional character, and you don't need him to have a great Christmas.
But I've always said that atheists and radical homosexuals, the liberal women who hate men, the National Organization of Women Who Hate Men, that those type of peoples are very insecure in that they can't stand alone. They need to bring everybody out of the closet. And so in doing this, you're doing exactly what the radical homosexuals do to people. There are homosexuals who they know that it's wrong, but they just don't know how to overcome at this point. So they're not proud to be that way. Whereas you have these radical homosexuals who want to flaunt it because they're so insecure, they expose those who don't want to be exposed. And it sounds like due to your insecurities or atheist insecurity, you're trying to do that to the atheists who don't want to be out front with their belief.
I'm not sure what you mean by a radical gay person. I assume that you just mean very upfront about activism and also gay. But
those that are flaunting their homosexuality, just so-called same-sex marriage and, all the crap that they're putting out there now, imposing it on the children in the public school system, those people are very insecure. That's why they're imposing it on the innocents. And it sounds like that's what your intent is with this sign in Times Square.
Have you ever met a gay person?
Yeah, truckloads of them.
I'm confused why you would simultaneously say that they are flaunting this and somehow ashamed and insecure about it. That seems to be a contradiction.
I mean, they don't feel secure in being wrong. They know that homosexuality is wrong within themselves. And so what they're trying to do is force everyone to agree with it so they can feel good about being wrong. And I get the impression that that's the same thing that's happening with the atheists, that there are atheists such as yourself who put up these type of signs because, as you said, you want to encourage other atheists to come to the forefront because you're not comfortable being wrong by yourself.
Well, I don't think I'm wrong, and I think the same is probably true of gay people. I'm sure there are some gay people who, because of guilt that's given to them by religious leaders and the religious system that forces this idea that there's something wrong with being gay, that they might have a sense of guilt from that. But I don't think the majority of gay people have any feeling that there's something wrong with them or that they're doing something wrong. How do you know that? Have you polled gay people and asked them if they think it's wrong?
I've counseled with them for years, but
I'm talking about an actual poll. I'm not talking about you talking to religious people that you know. Of course, those people are going to be biased and say that it's wrong because they're friends of yours.
Religion doesn't make evil feel insecure. Being wrong may evil or homosexuality or atheism or women who hate men. The judgment of that is what causes you to feel insecure, not religion. Religion is only pointing the way to overcome that. It doesn't make you feel insecure. These people naturally feel insecure about being wrong, and they are blaming it on something on the outside when it has nothing to do with the way that they feel.
I don't think that's accurate. I know many gay people who do not feel insecure about being gay. I know literally thousands of atheists who do not feel insecure about being
Dave, let me
atheist.
take a quick break. We'll come back and wind this up. Dave Muscato is with me. Back in a moment.